Everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back with you. And boy, are we blessed or what? Because we have here with us to talk some Survivor. We're so thrilled to have the legend, the queen, two-time Survivor winner, Sandra Diaz-Twine. Sandra, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for the invite. I was shocked that it was you interviewing me. I thought it was Brandon, but even better.
Yes, even better. And Brandon is, doing a great job with, reaching out to everybody. And, he's so social, Brandon.
Yeah.
And everybody loves Brandon. And so that we figure that sometimes he has better luck with reaching out to people.
No, what? You can't get people on the show? Get out of here. I find that
I'm so bad. You know what? I'm so bad at going on Instagram and texting and all that stuff. So that I leave it to the young people. That's a young person's game, all this texting.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally understand. That's like me. Like I'll post my little birds and things here and there and share. But then I'm really awful at reading the messages and whatnot. So I totally understand.
Yeah. Well, Sandra, I've been thinking about you a lot recently because something I've been doing has been going back, and it's been 15 years since Survivor Heroes versus Villains. And we've been rewatching Heroes versus Villains. Had you been aware it's 15 years?
No, and please, I hope, are you going to ask me a bunch of stuff? I keep telling people I've recorded over Pearl Island's Heroes versus Villains, Game Changers.
Like there's so much on the tapes.
Like had I just played one time, then I can remember everything. A lot of the times I'm like, did I do that?
Yeah.
But I've already told you that. But yeah, so you've been watching it, and what did you see new this time around?
Okay, well, we're only 7 weeks in so that you're just you're really just starting to cook now. That you just sent Coach out after you told Russell that he was going to that he was like, Russell was like, I knew it.
I planted the seed. Yeah, I told Courtney that. I remember. I told Courtney, I'm gonna get us out of this mess. I don't remember all the details, but girl, I was like, I'm gonna get us out of this mess. Like we're gonna try to survive this one, and we did, because I was gonna attempt to get us out of that mess, and also I knew that Russell was insecure, and if he felt someone was talking about him, that was something easy that I could say, and there would be doubt, and there would be conflict, and that's exactly how it played out. He didn't trust Coach because Coach was in fact complaining about voting out. I'm starting to remember now. He was upset about voting out Boston Rob because Russell had asked him to, but he didn't vote out Boston Rob. He put down someone else's name, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, you're right.
And then Russell was mad because that vote from Coach, it just didn't add up. The votes were not there. And he found out that it was Coach that didn't vote for Rob like Russell had told him to, right? Am I right?
You're right. And Rob said, "You're a little man."
Yeah. So there was a lot of issues. But yeah, we survived that. And then, like I always tell everyone in this, I can remember, I told Russell, if you just let me, like, I know you're running the show. I know you're running the game. If you would just allow me to make the merge, if I'm sitting in the jury and you're the final three, I'm giving you my vote. And that was enough for him to ensure that I made the merge. You only had to tell him what he wanted to hear.
And would you have done that? Would you have given your vote to Russell if he made it to the end and you were
Absolutely
on the
jury? Not. That was just to get me a little bit further because he would talk so much smack to us and we had to bear and grin it. So I'm going to do the same thing to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I love hearing the old stories, but let me ask you about what's going on with the new stuff, because I know how closely you watch the show, and I love to hear your thoughts on all these new players who are out here and playing in Survivor 48. What do you think about this cast, Sandra?
I met a lot of them at the Survivor Beach Drop in New York City. And when you meet them, of course, you love on all of them. But as the show is progressing, my top two are Kyle and Kamilla.
Yeah.
Hands down. I thought Shauhin, we say Shauhin, I thought he was going last week. I was like, oh, his goose is cooked. but he survived that. I felt like Say and Cedric had overstayed their welcome on the island, to be honest with you. I see myself a lot in Cedric as far as being awful at the competition.
Yeah.
But that's it. After that, like I don't see eye to eye on anything else. But I felt like Say was a strong player. She had a lot to say, and I knew they would hold that against her. Like I'm really enjoying Mary and everything she has to say. The fact that the California girls thought that they were running the show, especially Thomas, like it's funny how a lot of the times when people say they're running the show, they're the ones that go home.
Yeah.
And we see that repeat itself season after season. So I always tell people, like, if you end up out there, don't say you're running the show, because that's like instant karma. Like you're going to go home.
You know, we were both in New York. We went to the premiere event that they had, the New York Beach Drop. I know you just went to the other one that they just had, but they had so many of the cast members that were there. And I've never really had that experience of getting to meet the players in person before the season starts. Could you tell by meeting them, like, who was going to be a player in the season when you met them?
Yeah, because there's people that shy away from me and people that just run up to me and they just start talking. And when they naturally just talk to you, you know that they're an open book, that they're not going to sugarcoat anything out there. They're not going to get a purple edit. We're going to hear plenty from them. And I got that from Shauhin. I got that from Star. Gosh, I met them all, but those were the ones I talked to the most. Let me see, who else did I talk to out there? I was talking to a lot of the old school players. You know how that is.
Yeah. That was fun. That was a fun day, because I was saying that I felt like I hadn't really been at something that CBS had done since they had the 10-year anniversary party right before Survivor Heroes versus Villains started.
Yeah, exactly. This was way overdue for the fans. You know, they're able to get the tickets. It's free for them, but it's like an appreciation of the fans, and it's way overdue. Like they need to hit up more of the places where there's a big fan following, but then there's nothing going on, you know? And they did that in Minnesota at the Mall of the Americas. I didn't even know about that mall until I landed, and it was huge. And the fans just kept coming and coming and coming. And even the ones that didn't have tickets, they still showed up, you know, hoping to get a glimpse of you or to grab you on your way to the bathroom or, you know. So there's still tons of love and support for Survivor.
And we were just together in the fall that they had a college event at UNC. And I was really amazed, and I shouldn't be surprised, but you get mobbed by the fans, that they come out there and they just surround you. They swarm to you, Sandra.
But you know what's crazy? They do when they know I'm there. If the fans know they're going to see me, they line up for me. We take pictures. I say hello, whatever, all the good stuff. But when I go places and they're not expecting to see me, that doesn't happen. So it's only when people know that I'm coming that we get all the love and I'm rooting for you. I love you. You're the queen. So I get both sides. I get the love, and then there's times I get the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
So don't be fooled.
So out in public that you almost never get recognized?
Yeah, I really don't. As a matter of fact, what's crazy is I've been living to my neighbors for years, and they recently, I don't know who told them that I was from Survivor.
Yeah.
But now my neighbors know, and they never, like, I don't, you know, hey neighbor, we talk, we chit chat, pet the dog, whatever, keep it moving. But I don't sit there and say, hey, what do you want? You know, none of that.
Yeah. You'll never tell a stranger, right?
No, not even. Most of the time when I do run into someone and they say, where do I know you from? And I do have some familiar face, like it's similar. There's always someone that looks like me. I'll say, I don't know. I don't think we've ever met. No, we've talked. I recognize your voice. And then I'll say, do you watch reality TV? And if they say no, I'll leave it alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, my problem is that I'll have that conversation with somebody, and then my wife will be like, you know, he was on Survivor. He was on and now I'm like now talking to like a stranger who doesn't even like if somebody knows my season or listen to the podcast, I'd love to talk to them. But you know what? I hate to talk to somebody who barely even knows what Survivor is. And now a person who doesn't even care that much about Survivor. Now I'm like answering every question they ever had about Survivor.
Yeah. Is it real? Is it fake?
Yeah.
Like,
how was it? Like, listen, you didn't even know about it 2 minutes ago.
what's even worse is when they find out you were on Survivor and they ask, well, how much did you win? Oh, it's $1 million. And you won it 2 times. And after talking to me for 5 minutes, they're ready to put in an application and they just know they're going to go and win Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
You just talked to me for 5 minutes. You don't know shit about Survivor. But something in our conversation led you to believe that now you can go and win Survivor from just talking to me. Like they're superior. I don't know. That's what I get from it.
You think that they're like, hey, if you can do it, like I could win $1 million.
Yeah, like if this girl can win 2 times, I just know.
Right.
But I love reality TV and I love Survivor.
Yeah.
That's why, you know what I'm saying? Like just because you met me doesn't mean you can go and win Survivor.
Yeah. Sandra, what's your origin story with Survivor? How did they find you?
I applied.
Yeah.
I'm sure, and of course you've forgotten about this, but I'm sure we talked about it. So back in December of some year, Jeff said, if you have what it takes, go apply. And that was the first time we had a computer at the house from Christmas and a printer.
Yeah.
I never had either. And I printed out the application. It was like 100 pages and you had to like February, and I was working and I had kids and I went to school and I had just gotten out of the Army, and I would spend 1 or 2 every night. I do 1 to 2 sheets and really was thinking of giving good answers to all these 100 questions. And I filled out my application. Then it was time to make the video. And I had asked my neighbors who were all fans to help me. And push came to shove. Nobody could help me with my video. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to record it in my kitchen, which it came out not too long ago. There wasn't a copy of that video.
Yeah.
So once I submitted it, that was it.
Who had it? All their Survivor?
It had to be in a vault, and someone with access put it out there on the internet. That video had never been seen in over 20 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, I made the video. My husband does, like, I don't even remember what I said. I have the video. But anyway, they called me on April Fools.
Yeah.
And I thought it was my husband. And I didn't believe the call. And then I had to go to Seattle. And I remember on the walls, it says, do not talk to each other. Well, I didn't notice what was on the wall. The paper's all over the place. I do not speak to each other, whatever. And I walk in there and I'm like, hello, hello. And nobody answers. And I'm like, well, fuck you too. Just like that. Right? Because you
did
say
they hear
hello.
You say that?
You're looking at, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the people did.
Yeah.
I went in, had my interview. But while I was sitting there in that lobby, people would go in for 5 to 6 minutes and come back out. I was in there for like 30 something minutes. I was like, I know they like me. Mm-hmm. And my friend Lupe drove me home, and forget it. After that, it was history. They called me. I went. I was prepared to go home first. Like I said on my videos, like I said on what was that show we all used to go on? Regis and Kelly.
Regis. Yeah.
I was like, Regis, my husband had no faith in me. He was like, you're going to be the first one voted out. You can't survive one day. You love to gossip. You hear what you want to hear. You can't keep a secret, blah, blah, blah.
Sandra, I can't believe it.
I said, when I win this $1 million, you ain't getting shit. But of course, I gave him stuff along the way.
You got to. When you were on the Island of the Idols, and you also got to meet these people that were just playing the game. Did you feel like then, because I feel like that the players who've already played, maybe they know they did good, and so they're like not shy to come up and talk to you. But did you feel like that you knew which players were going to be really the people who were going to be the big players in the season when you first met them?
No, because we only met them if they came to Island of the Idols. Everyone did not come to Island of the Idols. Like Tommy won and he never came to Island of the Idols, but Nina's here. But what I did realize, me and Rob both, is that everyone that came to Island of the Idols had an alliance with Tommy. He was the one common denominator. And we're like, if he wins and he doesn't come to Island of the Idols, like this is all null and void. Like this was all for nothing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
But you did get to spy on all the tribal councils.
We did, and it was so hot in there. And believe it or not, me and Rob would constantly sing the entire Ghetto Boys song. My mind is playing tricks on me. He knows the words, and so do I.
Yeah. Why that song?
I don't know. One day we started singing it and realized, oh my God, we both know the words. So we'd be in there like singing and waiting for them to finally walk in. And it was all hot because of the lights. And we were just trying to pass the time. And then we just started, my mind is playing tricks on me. Dun, 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 dun. So fun fact, if you didn't know, me and Boston Rob know all the words to My Mind
I had no idea. Yeah.
By the Ghetto Boys.
But wasn't that a good idea? Shouldn't they do that again with letting people watch the tribal council from secret?
It all depends on who you have up there. It has to be someone that can't influence the game.
Yeah.
Because you're getting all this information. They thought it was fun to see what would happen if we went out there, and then they liked all our critiques and whatnot. Like me saying about Elaine, that one don't never know nothing. Those were my exact words. Because she's like, Jeff, I don't know. But she always knew, but she would tell Jeff, I don't know.
Yeah.
That one will never know nothing. But I don't know, who would you put up there?
Who would I put up where?
Yeah, who would you put to watch the tribal council?
Oh, maybe somebody could like win, like like a tribe could get like an advantage, and they send one person to go be there, and then that person comes back, and maybe that they're not even telling the truth about what happened. Like I think that would be interesting, right?
Oh, get the information from tribal council about what's going on with the tribe.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's like sending two people to a reward and letting them spill the beans about what's going on at each camp.
Yeah. And then it's like that one person spied on the other tribal council. And then it's like, are they going to tell everybody when they get to the merge? Like, hey, just so you know, I spied on your tribal council. Or like maybe somebody's going to like rat them out. Like, hey, Jimmy was watching your tribal council. He didn't even tell you guys.
Well, they can get that advantage without letting their tribe know that that's what exactly they're going to get to do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
they just get to go on a journey.
Like an overnight thing, and they think they're going to like a spa day or, you know, a night at the cinema.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah,
Who thought of that? Who gave you that idea?
I mean, well, Jimmy Fallon, I guess, made it up originally, but then just like, I mean, it's just an old idea that they could bring back.
Yeah. They need to implement that. Forget Edge of Extinction. That's all that's phony.
We're not even talking about that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
If you get voted out, that's it. No.
Mm-hmm. So this week we saw that there was a chance for Kyle and Kamilla, your favorites, to maybe make a move against Shauhin. And ultimately they didn't do it. Do you think that they should have pulled the trigger on voting out Shauhin?
Even if they didn't, even if it didn't work because they're just two and they needed everyone else to back them up, they've already put feelers out there, and I think David is going to react to the information because he seems like the kind of person that hears something, lets it fester, and then something's going to come from that conversation. That's why they highlighted it. You watch.
Yeah. So now they told David that Shauhin has the idol. Do you think that David is going to go back and check with Shauhin about, hey, do you have the idol?
Even if Shauhin said no, will David even believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Because if he did have the idol and he didn't tell you from the jump, what makes you think now because you confront him that he's going to tell you the truth? You know, on Survivor, you just never know. So, you know, he's still going to be thinking, is he telling me the truth? Yes or no?
You know, there's been a lot of talk on this season about players talking about that, hey, it's nice that somebody's going to win with honor. People have to win with loyalty and integrity, that we're bringing it back. No more of these nerds with that lie and backstab, that we're bringing honor back to Survivor. What do you think about that, Sandra?
When David said he wants someone to win that's worthy or something like that, he said, I'm like, I think I was talking to Carolyn. I was like, what the hell does that mean? Who's not deserving of their win? So we have to look back through 46 seasons to figure out who the hell or what type of players he's saying are not deserving. Like, all the strong people have to stick together because we want whoever wins, Joe too, we want whoever wins to be deserving. What makes you, in your eyes, what is the criteria for someone deserving? And if that deserving person doesn't win, do they now say, oh, bitter jury? I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Isn't that the point? Outwit, outplay, outlast of anybody, whoever gets there is the winner.
That's right. Whoever makes it to the end and takes home the money and the title wouldn't change a damn thing, regardless of what everyone else seems to think. But that's the problem with Survivor. You got 16, 18, 20 players who all think on day one they have what it takes to win, and then they go home and then it didn't pan out the way they wanted it to. So you watch, this is going to bite David in the butt.
Yeah. And look, I get it if you're David, where it's like, hey, nobody do anything fancy here. Let's just play the challenges, and then whoever's last in the challenge, we'll just vote them out. Like, that's how we should play. But that works for David, but it doesn't work for everybody.
Well, and I think Joe is on that boat too, where he sounds like it needs to be the most deserving without what's her name?
Eva.
Chrissy.
Oh, Chrissy, yeah.
Chrissy said in front of him, like, we're playing Survivor, which is true. At the end of the day, let's say David starts winning all these challenges. How am I going to get an opportunity to get to the end and win if he's constantly winning immunity? So guess what? The first opportunity we get that he doesn't win, we got to take him out or we won't see the finish line. That's just how Survivor works. The weak outnumber the strong, and he's eventually going to have to go. There's no way he's going to win everything.
Sandra, do you think that Chrissy put her foot in her mouth by saying that at Tribal Council this week?
Yes, I was shocked that she said it. I hope there's no repercussions from this. But it looks like David and I think Eva was there as well.
Yeah.
They didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I liked Eva and Eva's story from the jump. But the truth is, like everyone says, Mitch and Eva have good stories. If you let them get to the end, they're going to get the money. And if you want to get that money more than them, you got to take them out. Like, I would have took the opportunity to separate Eva from Joe, because Say, Star, Mitch, right? Am I saying the right one?
You got it. And Chrissy.
And no. Wasn't it Mary? Who was it Chrissy?
Chrissy with them, yeah.
Whoever the four were, they could have gotten together and said, we need to split up Eva and Joe, plus Eva has an idol.
Yeah. And Mitch had the block a vote too.
Right then and there, I would have separated them, because there's no way. We already know he's hugging her. He's giving her support, anything and everything for her. Say is trying to talk to him. He's just listening. He has zero to contribute. So to me, he's already put off by the whole conversation. Like, you're going home. I don't need to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
So when Chrissy is saying those things at Tribal Council, some people have said that, well, Chrissy is trying to push back on the narrative that Joe is saying about, you have to be honest and be loyal to win the game. Is that something that you have to think about, of like making sure that, there doesn't end up being this philosophy among the players about what type of game is going to win?
See, that's the problem, where everyone has their own idea and their own criteria as to how the game should be played.
Yeah.
But we already know the good guys don't finish. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just do not come out on top. And even when you don't want to play dirty, or you want to tell the truth the whole time, a situation always arises where you're put into a situation where you have no choice. The tiniest thing can just be spun around and now you're enemy number one. So I feel like Chrissy shouldn't have said it in that moment, but now she did. And had I been at that Tribal Council, I would have been like, okay, I could play with her and we need to get him out, because that is just not how we're going to play Survivor. Like, plus he's already showing his dominance at the challenges, him and David. It's like they're going to win everything if you don't take them out.
Sandra, how fun was it for you to watch Say this season?
I like her mouth. She talks a lot. She made a lot of sense. So did Mary. The way Mary tricked her, like it was great watching them. But like I said, her days were numbered. Her days were numbered because no one could trust her. Mary had already said she's what, like a chameleon? What did she say about her?
I think she said she's like a snake. She said that I think Charity was like a turtle and Say was like a snake.
Yeah. Mary knows. Mary's watching everybody, and she's one of those players where you have to listen to what she has to say. But they had her dialed in. Like, she's too chaotic. It's too much drama with her. So yeah, she had to go home. She went home at the right time. I'm glad she lasted as long as she did, but eventually she had to go home. And I hate she didn't make the jury. She would have been great on the jury, but they don't want her there.
Yeah. But Sandra, you're somebody who famously, you can get loud too, WTF. And, you know, you're not somebody who would hold your tongue too often on Survivor. What did you do right that Say wasn't able to do, where people are saying, okay, well, we have to get rid of her?
Well, I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, that I tried to have an open door policy and a line of communication with everyone where Say waited till the last day. I know they just did a merge or tribe swap. Yeah, it was the merge, but she was just now finally getting around to talking to Joe. The first thing you want to do is talk to people that you haven't had an opportunity to build a relationship with. You don't wait till now you're about to go home to then all of a sudden like, hey, let me talk to you. Let me, you know, this is how we should play the game. And she had burned bridges. You know, she was so opposed. She was always after Mary, to where Mary's not going to forget that. Even though Cedric said, play nice, you're not going to tell me she was only playing nice with Mary because of what Cedric said, you know? So Mary wasn't, now that Mary was free to do what Mary wanted and she could go somewhere else for support, she wasn't going to stick around and play with Say after Say has been relentless in trying to get her out. So I don't blame Mary one bit for wanting to distance herself from Say. So Say got what she was coming to, you know, Say got what was coming to her, in my opinion. And but I do like her as a player.
Sure. And the other difference is, you know, that there were always people there whenever you played who loved being with you, that you always had close friends and allies and people who really enjoyed your company. I don't know if Say ever had that, where people loved Say.
True. I could show you my phone and show you all the survivors that called me just today alone. Nuts.
How many survivors call you on an average day?
On a daily basis, I probably hear from 3 or 4.
Wow.
And a lot of times it's different people.
Yeah.
You know?
Not text, like they'll call you.
No, but I'm texting, more texting than calling.
Yeah. More
texting. Let me look at my phone. More texting than calling, because today alone, let me look at my recents. Who texted me today?
Three, 4, 5. Well, it's pretty good.
Including Brandon, because he was reminding me to be on here.
Yes.
That's
okay. That will give you that. That's a gimme. That's a free space on the bingo card.
Yeah.
Yeah. And does that get
people love me?
Yeah. I think that's a lot though.
There's the fights and feuds only come after I've already found out that someone either doesn't like me, doesn't care for me, can't stand me, whatever. It's something that they always do and say first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think you're out here picking fights with people.
I don't think I am.
Yeah. Although I will say, you know, you talked about how on April Fool's Day, you got a phone call from Survivor. It did seem like that maybe you were poking the bear with Russell on April Fool's Day.
No, I shared a story.
Oh, you shared that. That wasn't,
That
you
was
didn't
a
make
share.
that up. Okay.
No, it was like people were commenting me and tagging me on it, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, this is funny." Share.
Yeah, because it said,
Yeah,
it said what? It
our
said,
good friend Corey Tugwell. We all know Corey from Corey's org. He did it, and I thought that was hilarious, and I shared it.
yeah.
I didn't do that.
It said, congratulations, Russell, you just won Survivor. And then it was like April Fools.
Yeah, it was a share. It was so good. And I think I actually posted it after April Fool's. I don't think I even seen it when he was it on April Fool's?
Maybe it was like, it might have been the day after. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't see it until like a day after when your notifications is like 20 notes. And I'm like, what is this? But people are quick to tag you,
Yeah. Okay. So you weren't, so let the record show. Yes. You were just resharing.
I just pressed share. That was it.
That's it. Okay. Sandra, who do you think is going to go home now when this tribe gets back together with 10 people?
Shauhin's in trouble.
Because a lot of people that I was talking to on Friday felt like, okay, well, they didn't get Shauhin out. Maybe he's going to win. You think that he could go home this week?
I would like for him to make it deep into the game because I actually like him, but I think there's going to be issues with what was said. And the problem is, anytime your name pops up even once, now you're on that radar. Now your days are numbered. People are... It's just easier to keep writing down the same names. That's just how Survivor is.
Yeah.
Once your name is out there, and that's what you don't want, for it to even pop up once. Because once it does, it's just reoccurring. So I think because he's already out there, it's going to continue. Yeah.
So Cedric broke the seal, and now Shauhin got one vote, and now people might be trying to gun for him. Because it was interesting. I kind of thought that Kyle and Kamilla and Joe and Shauhin, it felt like that they really had something. But then when they got to the merge, now here comes David, who interestingly was Kyle and Camilla's friend before the merge, but then he met Eva and he met Joe, and it's like he's more with Joe than Kyle and Kamilla are.
Yeah. And not only that, but see, that goes to his philosophy of wanting to play because it's 2, 2, and 1. So I think he's just the third wheel to both sides.
Yeah.
So maybe he sees that he's playing, he might feel he's in a good position, but I don't think so. Because if he keeps winning, people are going to start watching him closely. And like I said, mark my words, we'll bet, there's an epidemic of betting now.
Yes.
I bet money on the fact that the minute they can get him, they're going to get him.
Well, I know you win your bets because I remember when I just watched where you bet Boston Bob about Coach that he was not going to be able to go climb up the coconut. And he said, I'll bet you $1 for Survivor winner Sandra.
Yeah. And Rob paid me that $1 and he wrote on it. I don't know where it's at. I have it. I've never done anything with it. I just would have to find it within all my Survivor stuff. I've had years of collecting.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of stuff.
Do you have one thing that's your favorite Survivor collectible item?
One thing. My buffs.
Yeah.
My original buffs.
Yeah. And you have them like the actual game worn buffs that you had. What do you have them like in a Ziploc bag? How do you have them?
No, they're loose. I have them loose because when I do my cameos, I put them on, but I also have collectible buffs from other seasons.
Yeah. But you put on the game worn, but did you wash it?
Yeah, I wash them once in a while because then they get back to nice and tight.
Like I feel like that I think I have my one from the Amazon, but I think it's like in a Ziploc bag. I feel like that's like, I don't know. It feels like that it's like to throw it in the washing machine. I don't know. I guess I'm stupid. I guess I should have just washed it.
No, well, here's the thing. Because I'm not a stinky person anyway, all my stuff always smelled good. Mm-hmm. And when I would go out there, I would just I could smell my clothes or my hair and be like, I smell good, Yeah. So my stuff always smelled good. I'm not one of those stinky people because we know that there are those people out there that they just stink.
Well, can I ask you, who smelled the worst? You played with so many, you've probably played with like 70 or 80 different people? Australian Survivor, forget it. Like 100 different players.
I told you this. I've always said it that Russell was the stinkiest.
Yes, because he wouldn't go in the water, right?
Right, he wouldn't go and wash up.
You told him you voted.
We're gonna start a whole new feud in 2025.
I'm not trying to. I'm just because you voted for him when Tyson went home. You said that he needed to go in the ocean
and wash his ass.
Way back when. Yes, yes, that's what you said. And they don't say stuff like that anymore. Ocean and wash his ass. Yeah. Yeah, the survivors, they never vote that way and they say anything like that mean.
I guess.
But if it's true.
Yeah. I mean, I was just saying when you're funky, you're funky. That's it. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. I mean, they're making us play games in like popcorn oil. They're making us crawl in mud. You would want to clean yourself up. I remember watching Sue with all that stuff rolled under her neck, and I'm thinking, why don't they tell her to wash up? Oh my God. Because I just see a little crumb of food and I'm like, you need to clean your face. I see a snot, like you need to go clean your nose. So I would have been like, yo, you need to wash your neck at least. If you're doing the contouring thing, which I didn't know that was a thing until Sue. Yeah. What you can do still is just clean your neck because that. Yeah. Because I'm like, listen, we're women. We're already under, like it's hard out here. You want to keep your lady bits as clean as possible. Yeah. And even neck, I feel like you could reach. Yeah. But come on now, we don't need to see 3 different lines under your neck from rows of dirt. Like, absolutely not. That is not my thing. No. So one of the big characters on the season has been David, Sandra. What have you thought about David? I met David. When I saw him at the challenge, I was like, okay, he can get far, but that's the problem. Yeah. He's just too strong and everyone's going to start. Yeah, if you're in an alliance with him, great. That's like our Jonathan. If you're in an alliance with him, great. I hope we get as far as we can. But if and when he goes home, because we know it's going to happen, then you need to be ready to move forward without him. You can't depend on him so much that now you don't have anyone to protect you. And who does David have? Just Kyle and Kamilla. Well, and Joe and Eva and maybe Mary too. Yeah, people from his. Wait a minute. What about the people from his original tribe? Well, yeah, Kyle and Kamilla. Yeah, Charity's gone. Maybe Chrissy is also there. Yeah, for him. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. When he said the whole no, he was just talking to the producer when he was saying that he wanted someone who was deserving to win. Yeah. See, he wouldn't say that out loud because if he said that out loud, there'd be issues on that tribe. Like, wait a minute, what makes you more deserving than I? Just because. That's the thing. Just because you win immunity challenges doesn't make you more deserving than anyone else. For those that can't win immunity, we have to up our game. We have to do extra. We have to build more relationships and do more. We don't rely and we don't hide behind idols. That's right. Okay. Now, Sandra, are you drinking milk? Water. Oh, okay. Do you drink a lot of milk? I do in the mornings with my coffee. Yes, that's it though. Not a gallon. No, who drinks a gallon of milk? David, like absolutely not. Him and Joe. That's they too much. Both, probably. Isn't that crazy that there's 2 people in the same season that they both do that? There's probably been more throughout the history of Survivor, but probably no one connected with them and there's not a lot of people. I guess the big guys do that. And we should ask Jonathan if he drinks a gallon of milk, Well, Jonathan used to eat like 21 eggs a day. And now, I mean, boy, I hope he's got a second job, Sandra, because 21 eggs. Well, I've been seeing him in the gym a lot lately. A lot of people posting gym videos that
Yes.
usually don't.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that means when they're getting in shape.
The New Year's resolution?
No, that they might be gracing our TV screens again, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see who's out there that deserves it and who is just like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
wah, wah, wah.
Did you ever post gym videos in all the times that you went back on Survivor?
No, because I never used to go to the gym when they'd ask me to come back. I would say that I was gonna go, and if I did, it was for like one day, and then it would be over for me.
Yeah.
But I do. My husband got me a gym membership, and Nina will say, "Mom, let's go to the gym during lunch," and she'll take an hour lunch. But by the time we get there and come back, we do like 30 minutes. And I sit on my bike and I watch Australian Survivor,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll watch like the Traitors UK, and I'll just pedal away. So if you ever see anything, it's me pedaling
Yeah,
and
that's
just
it.
watching the screen like,
You know,
I get a workout, but
yeah. Look, you
I just
gotta.
I can't change the way I am.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm never going to be physically fit.
Well,
I
maybe you
never
need to
have
drink more
been.
milk.
Milk is $5 a gallon now.
Yeah, but if you don't drink anything else, like that's, I mean, if you compare it to like a Starbucks coffee or something, that's not that bad.
Yeah, but I don't get. The only time I ever get Starbucks coffee is if I'm at the airport flying somewhere. That's it. Like, I'm not one to run to Starbucks either. So
Yeah, that's
that's
it.
the only time, really.
Yeah. Well, you're so savvy with money, right? Because you're still you still coupon?
Coupon is not like it used to be. Now you can only use one coupon, or like the stores don't want to give you coupons anymore. The brands, they don't want to give you.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there really. There's Ibotta, Checkout 51, I think it is, and
Is that an
stuff like
app?
that. But it's rare if I find a coupon. Now, $200 spent, no coupon.
Yeah. It's not right. Shouldn't they bring coupons back?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on this, but to go to the grocery store with my family, like, hey, what's wrong with this ice cream? This is on sale.
Listen, back in the day, for $100, you could get 10 bags. Now you walk out of the store with 2. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Sandra, so, my mind is like half in season 20 from watching all these old Survivor episodes for the 15-year anniversary. Do you remember what it was like right before people were going out for heroes versus villains? Were there a lot of rumors about who was going to be on it? Were the Survivor texts all blowing up where people were trying to figure out who was going to be on heroes versus villains?
No, and let me tell you why. I used to back then read Survivor Sucks. Remember Survivor Sucks?
Well,
That's where I would get my information
I tell
from.
my therapist about it every day.
But here's the deal. Back then, the only 2 people, remember, that I knew that was said to be rumored to be going on Heroes versus Villains was Candace, because she lived here in Fayetteville, and Rupert, because I had played with him on the Pearl Islands.
Yeah.
Other than that, I had never met Courtney, Boston, Rob, Jerry. I knew who they were because I watched Survivor, but I didn't have anyone's phone number. So no, it wasn't even like that. Now, maybe the other people knew of each other and had each other's phone numbers, but I didn't know any of them other than Rupert and Candace. And then they ended up on the heroes and I was in the villains anyway. So
yeah. And there wasn't a bunch of rumors or anything like that. Just a little bit on Survivor Sucks. That's it.
Yeah, it was whatever was on Survivor Sucks. And a lot of the times it was just hearsay. It wasn't like precise. There was like 100 different people it could have been,
Yeah.
So because I had watched Survivor, I knew who potentially would be out there, simply spinning my own wheels. And then once you start seeing them, then you're like, okay, I know who that is. I know who that is. I know who James is. I know who JT is. I know who Kobe
Yeah.
is. Like, I know who, I know who Jerry is.
Sandra, did you know it was going to be a heroes versus villains season before you went to go play?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Remember, I raised my hand when Jeff said, who's on the wrong tribe? And I said, why am I on the villains tribe? And he told me because I would stab my own mother in the back for $1 million. And I was like, oh, yeah, I would. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he put me on the villains tribe because at the beginning I was like, I should be a hero. But after seeing what they went through as the season played out on my TV screen, I was in the right place because we didn't have all that banana etiquette and asking permission to eat a banana. Like, no.
Yeah. And you had the great line that you said, the first time I played, I was mean. This time I'm going to be meaner. Yeah.
Why do people even like that quote?
It's a good line.
I thought it was kind of whack.
It's a good line. You can't say that to your hero.
Am I really the most quotable survivor ever? Like I have like 1,000 quotes.
Let's see. There's what? The queen stays queen. Adios. I can get loud too. WTF.
I'm only the queen you're only the king until the queen arrives. I could get loud too. What the fuck?
I used to say, what was it? Russell thinks he's gonna beat me in the end, but I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. You're right. I do have a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Do you ever think about any of these things before you say them, or they just come out of your mouth?
They just come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
They just come out of my mouth like queen stays queen. And that was because Tony on season 34, when we played for the very first time, he was like, yo, queen, yo, queenie, this, everything was queen, queen, queen. And then we had that big blow up at tribal council where he was like, you guys are like sheep to slaughter. And I was like, that's what you get. And the queen stays queen. And forget it, that was it. It was born right then and there. Queen stays queen.
But I love your relationship with Tony because you and Tony are great friends now, right?
Absolutely. There's really not, even me and Fair Play after so many years of, he can call me, I'll pick up the phone. We do things together from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Like so me and Tony, we get along. It's just sometimes when we play together, we just can't trust each other because we're both after the same thing. He's there for the money and for his family, and I'm there for the money and for my family. Therefore, your family is not more important than my family. Your family is your family. My family is my family. And I'm going to put you know how that is. We get it. And when it's all said and done, we could be friends again.
Did you give Tony any advice before he went to go do the Traitors?
I didn't even know he was going to do the Traitors. People would ask me about Tony and I'm like, yo, he hates to fly. There's no way Tony's going out there. And then his ass is out there.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Rob just did Deal or No Deal Island. Why would he be out there? He was out there.
Yeah.
You know, it was a total shocker.
Sandra, I feel like people don't give you enough credit for the Traitors because I think that a lot of these faithful, they're just like just like they stick around because they're like dummy dum-dums and they just don't get murdered. I think that you might have played the best faithful game that anybody's played on the Traitors. What do you think about that?
I appreciate that. A lot of people tell me that. And the other thing that I realized too is that because it's 1 hour episodes, the Traitors have to have a lot of screen time. So when you have 3 or 4 traitors running around acting crazy, going after each other, or for instance, we had 3, plus Kate was 4. There's not enough. They can't highlight the faithful as much. You know, it's just about the traitors trying to do their little sneaky plotting and whatever gets thrown at them. Then the missions and then the round table. So there's not a lot of time to highlight too many people. I know that a lot of people trusted me in there. I know where I messed up. I also had a feeling that CT wasn't going to share the money. He was talking a lot about divorce and the cost of divorce and this, that, and the third. So there was a lot of things that happened. And I think I messed up in 2 areas when it came to the Traitors. When we went to the church and CT was sitting in between me and Phaedra, and I told her to take out Trishelle in front of CT. That didn't sit well with him, and you see him on the TV go back to the castle and say in the confessional, I heard Sandra and Phaedra whisper. And by then we were already locked in on Phaedra, but she was my friend.
Yeah.
So as long as she's my friend, I'm not going to get murdered. You know what I'm saying? I just got to survive the round tables. But I keep saying that I hope I did enough for the supposed season 5 all-star returning Traitor season. I hope they give me a call.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready. I'm ready to catch them damn traitors.
You're ready. You're ready. Would you ever be a traitor if you played again?
I think I'm a better faithful simply because after seeing the fiasco of last season and hearing Rob and Carolyn say that it was really, really hard and then they didn't get a lot of rest because we have to be prepared. I think we work from 12 to 16 hours a day. So you have to, there's not a lot of time. And then the traitors, while we're heading back to go to sleep, they have to go to the turret and fight that battle. That takes a long time. So I don't know, because I need my sleep. I need to be well rested. So, and it's hard because I feel like I just played Traitors like 2 days ago and I was voted out halfway through. And I remember at the beginning of the game,
what do you mean you just played Traitors 2 days ago?
On Sunday for Vanquish for charity, I played Traitors and there was me and Bruce from Jam season.
Yeah, Survivor 45. Yeah.
And then it was Randy and Ricky from The Amazing Race. They were both recently on The Amazing Race. And someone said, and then there was only 5 females. And it was like 20 people playing. And they were like, it's got to be at least one of the 5 females. So they wanted to target them like that.
Yeah.
And it has to be one of the 4 reality stars. So they wanted to target like that. And that's exactly what happened. Bruce went first, and then Ricky got voted out, and he was allowed to take whoever he voted for with him, which was me. And Randy was the one, and he was the last one standing of the reality stars, and it was him.
Well, I mean, that sounds amazing. Where is it? This was in person?
Right here on the computer.
Oh, it was on Zoom. Okay, got it.
Yeah, on Vanquish. On Vanquish, yes, we went on Zoom. And then we go to the breakout room.
I don't know what Vanquish is.
It's an online, it's like a group, like a forum. And they also go on the Twitch and people can watch the game progress and they have to donate to the charity.
Okay.
So they raised like over $200 for my charity. So I played. There was people trying to get shields. So you had to raise money. Whoever raised the most money would get a shield. And they would donate the money to the different reality star charities. So I was like, yeah, I'll play because we're raising money and it was for a good time.
Yeah. What charity did you raise money for?
FAPS, the Fayetteville Animal Protective Society here in Fayetteville.
Okay. I didn't know you were so into animals, but I now also know that you are an avid bird watcher.
Well, with the FAPS, remember I had my 5 dogs. I had Ruby, Rosie, Cheeky, Papa, Rio.
That's right. Yeah.
I had my Pomeranians and, but Nina has a big dog and he's big. He's a German Shepherd. She rescued him from the shelter. So now because he's so big, I'm scared to have a smaller dog, but we walk him every day. I drive to her house down the street just to walk my grandpa. And then, so me and Nina volunteer at the shelter. We try to go once a week and we walk the dogs from washing their bowls, from cleaning their areas, picking the poop, spraying the stuff, like the works. And it's my way to give back. I don't know, because right now with so much I got going on, it's like, I don't want to have my own puppy.
Yeah.
And then have to put him always, in the little pet oasis resort.
Right.
Well, I'm waiting till things calm down, but I love animals. And so my husband's retired. He buys me all the bird seeds and I'm out there filling up the feeders. And then I was like, give me a bird cam. I want to watch the birds. Now I have bird houses with birds that moved in, but I'm going to get me the camera because my bluebird has 2 eggs already.
Okay. Does Ulmer give you any tips on the birds that you spot?
No, I think he does endangered animals.
Okay. Well, no, he loves birds though. He can identify any. If you have any bird questions, that's your guy.
Oh, but I know my birds too because I just Google them.
Okay. Yeah. Who
And
needs him?
my bird cam has AI. So now that I'm naming birds,
Yeah.
when my birds come, like Stanley is my mockingbird, it says Stanley came to the feeder. Chip is my chipping
It knows
sparrow.
its names.
Yeah, and so my little yellow bird, the finch, the lesser finch, is going to be called King because he visits the queen.
Yeah.
And he's yellow and gold, so he's So my little yellow bird is King.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We have the picture of it. Let me could show. Here he is. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's King.
We were patient and it paid off.
Yeah. And now he was coming around by himself. Now he comes with 5 others. So I actually had to go get the
alliance.
Yeah. No, I think it's his family. I think it's his wife and his kids. That's like my cardinals. They come in groups. The bluebirds come in groups. They come in little groups.
Yeah. So, Sandra, big news today was Australian Survivor versus the world. Now, of course, not only a Survivor legend, an Australian Survivor player, Nina, a 2-time Australian Survivor. What's going on? Why is there no members of your family being represented on Australian Survivor versus the world?
Oh no, I think it's just 9 players.
Yeah.
And it's $250,000. And I think it's just a 15-day game. And they said that Survivor, from what I understand, and I'm not sure if I'm right, but the numbers were dwindling just like Australian Traitors.
Mm-hmm.
Second season and now it's gone. That Survivor hasn't been doing too well and they wanted to bring something to get the momentum going again. And I think it's wonderful because they picked the cream of the crop. So let's see what happens between Tony and Parvati, Sari, David, King George, Luke. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm ready for it. And I will be watching it while I'm pedaling on the bike at the gym.
Yeah. Which team are you going to root for? The world?
I'm going to start rooting for Tony.
Yeah.
And
see what happens.
If that doesn't pan out, I'll move on.
Okay. Now, I know you're also going on the big Traitors cruise also coming up.
April 27th through May 3rd.
Yes. Okay. Are you excited for that?
I am. So we're hosting games and the prize, there's going to be up to $50,000 in prizes. And
so people that play Traitors on the cruise, how do they pick out who's going to play?
So when we started selling spots on the boat, you would sign up and pick your team. So I have a team, Janelle, Bergie, Trishelle, Stephanie, Rachel, like they all have teams. And then we won't have control over who the Traitors are, anything like that. We're simply going to play the host, Alan Cummings. And so we've been getting our outfits together. That's why I was getting text messages from Stephanie today showing me, because we're going to try to get a lot of plaids and tartans and, all that good stuff. So since we have to play Alan, we have to get our costumes and outfits right for the cruise. So there's been a lot of chatter about that, but we're excited and we're playing. As a matter of fact, this is my schedule.
Yes. Okay. Your itinerary.
So,
yeah,
we're playing like 3 hours every day, except for the last day where they're going to take one winner from each team and then they're going to play the final game.
Wow. Okay. So you have like your whole team of Traitors. You're Alan coming for your group, and then all the winners are going to play each other, and then that winner is going to win $50,000, maybe.
Yes. No. So the first winners will split the 25,000, and then the last winner on day 5 when they all play against each other.
Yeah.
But there'll be prizes along the way, and because people pay a lot to come play, there's also going to be opportunities for them to play after they've been voted out and win money and prizes and stuff like that.
Wow.
So I think it's going to be a win-win no matter what happens.
Yeah. Now I know there's a Survivor cruise also. Is that are people playing Survivor on the Survivor cruise?
No, that one is shorter. And that one's going to Cozumel, Mexico. And there's going to be 25,000 in prizes for that one. But that one is different. The fans want to bring Jeff's new Survivor game. They're also going to play Werewolf. They're going to do like a Traitor. We're going to have a lot of dinners and parties and stuff like that. That one is more relaxed.
Yeah, but there's a lot of money that people are going to win.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it too is like cruises.
What if people start fighting on the boat?
Well, those boats have a jail, right?
I didn't know that.
Cruises have jails. Cruises have morgues. People die on those boats.
God. That'd be great for the Traitors game, though. That the person that gets murdered, they go to the morgue.
Yeah, but no, not the morgue. But we're gonna do a lot of things. Like on our Traitors one, we're gonna meet with the fans and do the photo op. Peter from The Bachelor's having a rose ball.
Okay,
so that was the dress I was telling you that I had to get. That to make sure that I could wear it.
What's the rose ball?
So I guess on The Bachelor, because I don't watch The Bachelor, when he gives the girl the rose and she's all dressed up. So on the Traitors cruise, we're doing the rose ball on the final day.
Okay.
And, he gives the roses to the different girls and dance with them. So we have to come to the rose ball and be all fancy.
Okay. So Pilot Pete might give his rose away on the cruise.
A lot of women are getting roses on that cruise.
Okay. I'll leave it at that.
But it's going to be so much fun. We're going to have we're going to have a blast. We really are. Yeah. We're excited. My family's excited.
Yeah.
Even my husband's excited because I was like, baby, I'm going on a cruise, but I'm going to work. You're barely going to see me. And he was like, what? I'm not going to see you a lot. I was like, yeah. So don't be mad. He was like, no, sign me up. Even better. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Are you bringing everybody, the whole family?
Yes. I'm bringing the whole family, but I'm paying for that.
Yes.
And, yeah, Nina's coming with her.
Is she going to play?
Nina's playing. Yep. They're on different teams though, because they paid the full price. It's not no discounted price or nothing. They're paying to play. And
what if Nina wins? Are people going to say that that's not fair if Nina wins?
Well, she's not on my team.
Yeah.
And everyone's bringing, a lot of the people coming on the cruise are relatives and friends and co-workers, so there's not a single person that's coming on the boat that's not bringing at least a group of 10.
But does Nina ask you for advice when she goes and does a show, or because she's won the anonymous now, she's like, because my kids, they would not take my advice for anything.
No, Nina's really good because she's really, really smart.
Yeah.
And she's also physically fit. She gets that from her father, the brains and the wanting and the willingness to work out without being pushed and forced like me. Mm-hmm. So she's like the complete package, everything I'm not. So no, she doesn't need. No, if I start talking to her, she's like, Mom, you're going to trip me up. I need to play my own game. And I just leave her because she knows, she understands. Yeah. She's been watching Survivor forever as a kid. She has absorbed it like a sponge. And then she went out there and did a good job.
She's born into this.
She did better.
Yeah. Sandra.
From 21 days to 43 days to winning the whole anonymous.
Yeah. Sandra, do you have a winner pick for Survivor 48?
Oh my God. I love Kyle and Kamilla. I already told you I can't pick between both of them. I think they're so prepared that I would be happy with either one of them winning. It's like Wendell and Dominic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you're rooting for both and you'll be happy with whoever comes out on top.
Now, Wendell and Dominic, they both went all the way to the end together. Do you think that Kyle and Kamilla might turn on each other before we get to the end?
No.
I think they will.
There's a lot of stuff that they have in common, and I wish something more would blossom from that. You know what I'm saying? I would like for them to be that next couple that gets married in the Survivor world.
Oh, I think that Kyle is married. I think that.
Oh, is he?
I think he is.
I've only heard him talk about his callus. I don't think I've caught him talking about a wife. Really? Is he?
I believe so. I believe so. If he's not married, he's engaged.
Okay.
Yeah, but look, the crazier things have happened in the reality world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, here I was hoping for bigger and, like.
Sandra, I was there with Rob and Amber when they got together.
Mm-hmm. And they're still going strong.
Still going strong. Yeah.
You think he's never going to have a baby boy?
I don't know if they're still trying, but I feel like that they're like my age. I think they're.
That factory is shut down. Look, I'm 50 years old.
Yeah.
I say it loud and proud because I know I don't look it.
Yeah. I think that, they've adopted like Aaron from Deal or No Deal Island and Jonathan. So I think he has some adopted sons. Well, Sandra, it's so wonderful whenever I get the chance to catch up with you. My North Carolina friend.
And I'm only an hour and a half away. I'm in Fayetteville. So if there's ever anything happening, don't be throwing those Rob has a podcast parties and me not know about it.
Okay, I won't. I'll let you know.
If I can come up and I don't have plans, I sure will.
Yeah, I'll let you know whatever we're going to do. What's better for you, to go to Raleigh or go to Charlotte if we do something?
No, Charlotte is 3 hours.
Oh, okay. All right. So Raleigh's closer.
Raleigh's only an hour and a half.
Okay.
But depending on what it is, I wouldn't be opposed to depending, because then, or what day it falls on. And if I, because I like to do my IKEA trips once a year or twice a year to Charlotte. So if I could get it all worked out.
We'll work it out. All right.
Just throw out the invitation. If I can come, I come. And if I can't, then
I'll let you know. Okay. What do you want to tell people to check out?
Sassy SDT on Instagram. Watch my Bird Buddy live. We got the Traitors cruise. If your income tax came and you want to go play Traitors,
you can still get a ticket.
Yeah, you can. Royal Caribbean has always got tickets. And if not, wait for the Survivor cruise in July. We're leaving out of Galveston. We're going to Cozumel, Mexico. That one has Tony, Jeremy and Val, Sarah, Rick Devins, Troyzan, Trish, Michelle, Jerry, Courtney, Todd, me, Nina, Rome. Mm-hmm. Who else am I missing?
You love Rome. I know that.
I like Rome. Yeah. I really do. I love his mouth. He's sassy like Say.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I would enjoy seeing them both back. Mm-hmm. I really would.
Yeah.
I really would. Let me see who else I'm forgetting, and then we can hang up. Let me see who was the last one, because I had a little screenshot of who. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, that's the Traitors cruise. I already forgot. Did I forget anybody from that cruise?
That's okay. They can look it up. Survivor Cruise.
Postgamecruise.com.
Postgamecruise.com. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Or cruiseofdeception.com, depending on what cruise you want to go on.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well,
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, this was so fun, Sandra. So I'm going to turn this off. Don't hang up though. Okay. All right, everybody. We got a good one here today. Love to read your comments. We're going to be back. I'll be back with Steven on Wednesday night. After I missed him, I was in Boston for the live show this week. And I went to Luigi's Pizza, Sandra.
Was that where they caught Luigi?
No.
Mangione? Is that what you're talking about?
Justin from Survivor. That's his pizza. His family's pizza place is Luigi.
Oh, the one that was playing with Cedric, right? Oh my God, I'm like, Luigi, man. You know what it was? Hold on, because Omer from season 42, as we're speaking, is texting me. You have pet birds. Wait, is this live?
No. He's like locked in, like telepathy.
You see, today at 8:19 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see, That's number 6 now.
Yeah.
Well, no, you said Brandon didn't count, so now that's 5.
Yeah. Tell Omer you don't need him. You have AI.
Yeah, I got Google.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Have a good one.
Wait, but what happened with Luigi's Pizza?
Oh, it was a good time. A bunch of survivors were there. Justin took care of us.
Okay, good.
Good. If you're in Boston, go up there.
Okay, I will.
Okay. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.